converted our auto cars to manual. When we had front wheel drive, they said, back axle was it. So they put back axle in cars that were to be front wheel drive. At any point in time, we need people that are up to it, people that will make us know that HR is very important in our lives. And with HR, we will train people that will manage the AI, that will manage the automated system in the workplace. So what do we want to talk about? We want to now talk about how do we build people management community in the workplace? How do you manage the people management community in the workplace? You know, all of the welfare of workers or employees rest squarely on the shoulders of HR. So we need to have community of people that will ensure that the jobs are well done, the people's welfare are well taken care of. And now that COVID has shown us so much, people are talking of mental health. How do you manage the people? Everybody. Once upon a time was work-life balance. So building a people management community in the workplace. So let's move on and see how do we do that? How and what intervention can be brought in? I've been introduced. When you get the slides, you will see more of who I am. So what do you want to get now? I always call this slide or refer to this slide as let's unpack the agenda. That is our objective for this session. So let's unpack the agenda. Building a people management community in the workplace. So, and I always reassure our participants that in adult class, Baba no dey fail. All answers are correct. Okay, because I developed this when this saying when my father was alive. He used to say he used to come first, and when he died, we saw his certificates and whatever. And I'm sure everybody's father will always say they used to come first. Whose father came last? So I said, Baba no dey fail. All answers are correct. Out of nonsense, you get sense. Remove the none, and you're left with sense. So please feel free to ask any question in the chat box. And if I need to ask whoever or someone to unmute and answer, please feel free to do that. So let's move on. We want to pack the agenda. One, we're going to define personnel management, human resource management professional, and human resource management consultant. Two, we're going to describe, talk about, not necessarily describe, talk about the relationship between employee life cycle and human resource management. What do you mean by life cycle? We'll see what it is. Then teaming. We talk briefly about team working, team building. How do you, as a team leader or a team member, perform in the workplace? These are big, heavy topics in L&D. And if you need to, we will have to take them one after the other, not now, as a training session for our HR. How do you manage teams? How do you talk about employee engagement and empowerment? Once upon a time was management by objective, and in management by objective, we used to talk about delegation. So delegation has been broken down into employee engagement and empowerment. Then this bottom-up approach came up about 10, 15 years ago in management, or maybe more than that, but between 15 years to date. Bottom-up approach, because management is usually the chain of command is really from top to bottom. But nowadays, we see that people say that there's so much talent down there. And how do you manage this talent for the benefit of the organization? Two, we'll put all of this together and see how we can get the best out of it. And then we'll talk about discuss questions. But I'll always love if you type in your questions into the chat room. And for those of us that are on site, okay, please, whatever you have, give to them at the IT desk and they will type, okay, so that we don't waste time that, oh, no sound, no this. Type, write, and give them at the IT desk, and we'll be able to attend to them because they will type it and I'll see that. But for those who are going to join us later, by God's grace, next month will be live and direct. This will probably be the last online presentation from my side. So I love this slide. Why? I usually put it as my first slide anywhere I go because it has to do a lot with human beings. It has to do a lot with people that will ensure that we get results. And I always say that when we talk of NGOs and they tell you we are not for profit, they are not for profit. They are for surplus. What is surplus? What is another name for surplus? Okay, so what we're talking about is that please, anytime, anywhere, always take your people into consideration. Anytime you're churning out policies or you're in the boardroom and something will affect the welfare of the people that will deliver results. So you're paid to produce results. Yes or no? Yes. All of us, whether in self-employment, paid employment, not-for-profit, private or public sector, produce results. It is your people who produce results, not only you. So focus your energy on helping your people to be successful, because when your people are successful, when you manage the talent in the workplace, then you will see that there will be results. Everybody will dance and we sing to the bank, whether surplus or profit. So that is the simple truth about the workplace. Now, what do we want to talk about as HR? How do we manage group of people or personalities and their work habit? How do you ensure that the right people that we recruited or engaged into the workplace and they're doing what the organization wants them to do with their KPI and their key results area? Do they have the right personality or traits to deliver results? So how is their performance dependent on their personality traits and job skills? That is why as HR, when we are conducting recruitment and selection of people into the workplace, it is good that we use the psychometric tests, even if you are not going to give them to write it out. If you're going to use it to ask them questions at the point of interview, please let's use some of them. There's so many scenarios or cases that we can use, and let the person tell you how they will be able to manage some of the situation. So we also, as HR, we have to help our employees understand their strength and how they can be most used successfully in the workplace, and how to help all types of employee, so that we will not say, this person is useless. Because in L&D, we believe that everybody has a value to add. And that is the native way of also thinking. Because the native people will always say that even bad people have their good days. So how do you make employees to reach their potential, whether in terms of performance or in terms of jobs to do or skills? We need to. Please, somebody's mic is on. Can you mute? Let me get that person. That is Ruang. Ruang, please mute your mic. Ruang, mute your mic. Okay, thank you. So now, when we say that the people need to reach their potential, we need to, as HR, assist them to get there. So it is important. We also blend all different types of personalities in the workplace and how they can work well within teams. One thing we need to know is that all of us are different, very different. And that is what we talk about diversity. Diversity has been there from the Garden of Eden, man, woman, gender, age too. At least we know that Adam was created before Eve. So Adam obviously was older than Eve. So there's so many diversity in the workplace. And how do we ensure people are included in the scheme of things so that they will not say they are marginalized? So diverse personalities, and ensure the right personnel is in the right job, the right person sitting in the bus, sitting on the right seat, and we get there. So why are we here? We are here for certification. We have members we have associates, we have fellows, we have doctoral fellows. So what do we want? Knowledge. Add more skills to what we have so that when we go back to our various offices, to our various workplaces, we will be able to show that we have learned one thing or the other and share some of these skills with our community of practice. Then performance. We also get certificate. Let's build on our performance in the workplace as HR, and we will get there. So let's quickly go through the definition of terms. Personnel manager. Personnel management has been there all along. Personnel manager, anytime in those days, they would say, go to the PM, go to the personnel manager. But now, HR is the bigger umbrella. It has carried so many things, so many functions along. Personnel management is one of them. They oversee anything that concerns the welfare of employees in the workplace. In those days, it used to be that, personnel management, they hire and fire. No, now the job has gone beyond that. But we still have some people in some organization that are referred to as personnel managers. But in a bigger organization or some organization, we believe that HR is bigger and it will take in so many of those activities, and it has taken in, let's put it that way, unless you want to change from personnel manager now. But if you're already there, it has taken in so many other activities that the personnel manager does or was doing. So who is the human resource professional? So let's quickly take something from the personnel manager. These functions include, but not excluded to, other activities: recruiting, hiring, compensation and benefits, new employee orientation, training and performance appraisal system. We always now, modern management says we shouldn't only talk about performance appraisal, we should talk about performance management, because appraisal, most people always think that it's a one-off thing, maybe in December, upper, or twice a year. But modern management says performance management. That means you follow through. You don't wait until that person commits the error. And that is where training comes in. You keep telling the person, this is how to do it. This is what should be done. And in the process, you will coach. In the process, you may need the person, realize that the person needs mentoring. So these are how you improve the performance of our people. Okay, that can squarely rest on personnel department, not department, unit or division of the HR. So who is that human resource professional? The human resource professional can be within the organization or outside of the organization. He has so many certifications. He can design, he can work with L&D, he can do work with anybody within the system, or out, it can be from within, and he sees what some other people do not see, because the performance management form or productivity form rests in his office and he sees what we do. So what does he do? He provides service to operating managers. That means he's all over the place. He's a professional. He deals with people. Okay, they are advocates and business partners. So professionals have knowledge of training program. How do we redesign? They are the ones that we sit with safety. They are the ones that we sit with production. They are the ones that we sit with this when we want to have a reorganization or re-engineering process within the system. And they will work with those people to ensure that they redesign, especially if technology is coming in. They also decide when we want to have ISO quality, okay? ISO, they'll be there for the program improvement. Then also ensure that hiring and promotions decision are free of what? Discrimination. That will be an area that they will work with personnel management. Now, if the professional, with all this that he has garnered around himself, he can work within the system, or he can come from the outside as a consultant. Remember, he has to be a professional first before he will be a consultant. So he needs to know. So coming in from the outside into the organization is now a consultant. But remember, professional first. And that is why we are here. As a consultant, what does he do? Remember, at times, or most times, they are invited by the organization. We want to have a re-engineering, but we don't want to send our people away. They are talented, they have what it takes, so we don't want to. So what does it do? It leaves the company or the organization with an efficient and productive HR department. So when he comes in and does whatever on the invitation of the organization, he will work with the HR department, and the HR department will be like the torchlight that will show him, that will guide him into the organization, so that he'll be able to address specific issues, okay, and be able to be on the retainership of the organization until the issues are resolved, until the organization is satisfied. As consultant, please, I want to say this note of warning. When we are going in as consultant, whoever invites you into the organization, whoever told you that you can come in, because I'm sure we will probably be part of those who will bid for the contract to be able to be a consultant. The note of warning is that please take whatever you can manage, do it well, and give yourself a timeline. Give yourself an objective that within so and so, this percentage of whatever will have been reduced. Because like in L&D, when we are going to an intervention training, we always say that at the end of this exercise, participants should be able to have reduced wastages to maybe like reduce wastage about 40 or 50%. Same thing with the consultant. Give them a timeline. It's wastage is 40% in 3 months, so that after 3 months you will come back. What you told them that you will achieve, have you been able to achieve it? Same thing with consultant. Don't go in there and think you are Mr. Atlas that will take everything, or else you will not be able to achieve anything. So it does a complete overhaul of the company's human capital. He advises company on a wide range of issues involving the workforce. At times, some consultant, so that they will get their job to be lengthened or to be able to get more, what do? They will not look at the non-human aspect of their job. What do? They say, I think you need training intervention. I know we do the training. They will do the training. So, because some of the issues in the organization are non-human, and if you don't remove the non-human and you bring in training, the problem will persist. And when next you go there, they will not give you a job. So what does it do? It now creates and develops a human resource model that is specific for that organization. Please, because you succeeded somewhere with a particular job, and the new job you got, okay, the new job you got, those people are in the same industry. Don't think you will bring it to that place. And if you are going to use some of them, please rework it to suit that organization, or else. Let me give you an example. Somebody was called in probably to Dangote. Dangote, we know that they are heavy, most of their drivers are truck drivers. But somebody in a blue chip company says, oh, I heard you did well for Dangote and other. They called you blue chip. They don't have trucks. You carry that and take to a blue chip where the drivers wear tied and they dress like pilots and all those things. You see that from the beginning, your program is dead on arrival. We need to be able to manage this. Omale, please mute yourself. Okay, so to ensure that the workforce, by the time he leaves, he will ensure that the organization is working at a higher level of productivity and efficiency, better than he met it, or else they will not give him the job next time. So HR is very important in all organizations. So let's take a holistic view of HR. HR is in the middle there and surrounded by the 4 balls around there. There are some more activities if we break them down, but a holistic and bird's eye view. HR in the middle. HR takes care of salaries and wages. There should be a unit that does that. The HR takes care of she's. There'll be a unit or is a department, but they still oversee what we mean by she's. What is she's? Safety, health, environment, and security. This era that one can use 50 million to travel by road to Abuja from Lagos instead of traveling by air with 150. Say, What is it? 150. How can that junior officer travel by air with 150 between Lagos and Abuja? Let him travel by road. We won't spend more than 50,000. But eventually, that 50,000 naira will translate to 50 million. So she's is what HR will look into. Then ILR. If there is we no go agree, what would they do? Go and call HR. Okay, go and call HR. And the 4 P's and S, which we have termed admin, is personnel, policies, promotions, performance management, and strategy. The good thing is that HR, we are always there in the boardroom when policies are being churned out, when policies are being made. We will carry the policies and take it to the workforce for implementation. Is very important. In some organization, L&D is part of HR, but in most organizations that are forward-looking, learning and development is usually out of HR, but they still work in sync with HR. It's very important that we get to know this. So let's quickly take a look at the 4 steps of employee life cycle. Once upon a time, somebody should type time for me. Employee life cycle used to be 11. From there, thank you. Somebody gave me a response. Who is that? Loho. Thank you. Thank you, Loho. Others are not with us, so they didn't get the joke. Okay, so that time, employee life cycle was 11 cycle. Friday, Wanaki, thank you. Okay, then Salman, thank you. You still have opportunity to respond to some of that. So from 11, it went to 6. Now it has been compressed into 4 steps, but we have not missed any step from that 11 to 4. All the steps, everything, all the activities are in these 4 steps. The first step, what is that? It is hire. What you do during recruitment, selection, and hiring, and whatever is there before the employee steps into the organization. At the interview level, everything, when you sort out their CV and whatever, this person is good enough, hire. The second step, inspire. The person has been engaged, is in the organization. What do? We train them, we onboard them, onboarding and say, okay, you are now here. Some people come with this big idea that, oh, I'm coming from a blue chip company because I'm here and whatever. One man's meat is another man's poison. What is good for somebody may not be good for us. So what do? You inspire them that this is the right place to be. Calm down and we get there. So the new employees, you need to understand the goals, the vision, the mission of your organization. This rests on HR. You inspire them with the department, the head of department that you are taking them to. The key results area, the key performance indicator must be shown to them so that they will know that they will be there. Thank you for those who have said time. Okay, so then the next one is admire. The employee is already in the system, has been working well. What do? You need to make that employee feel at home, make him realize that, yes, you are in the right place. What do you want to do with that employee? This is where we talk about talent management. This is where we talk about you assisting the employee to continue doing what he's doing well in the workplace. So he needs to know, do we motivate him? Do we coach him? Do we counsel him? Do we send him for training within or outside of the organization? Make sure they give you feedback. This is where the HR of old, not of old, when they came up with the idea of employee of the week, employee of the month. What do you want to do? This is where reward system comes in to show we admire your effort as an employee of the system. So the last one, which is the 4th step, is what we call retire. When we talk of retire, it's not the point at which the person is 35 years in service or 60 years of age. An employee can ditch your organization midstream And that is the person that you have been feeling that, oh, this person is a backup to that person and whatever, in case this person retires. The millennials are not ready to wait 35 years in service or 60 years of age. Some of them say by 40 they should retire. They should be on their own and be doing whatever. So what do you want to do? You need to look at it as, wait, before they exit the organization, give them what you call the exit form for them to know. So this is how you develop community of people that will manage the system when you are no more there. Remember, the native people will always say, the office will outlive the worker. Remember, one day you will not be there. So what are the advice for employee career? You see, this is where I have issues with our HR people. When we go back into the boardroom, please, let's think differently, a new mindset. How do we talk about that? I know it will take time for us to change that orientation. People will say we are charting a career path for an employee. Remember, late MK Abiola said, you cannot shave my hair in my absence. But me, I've added that even when I'm there, I have to agree. If not, I will be unsteady and you will not be able to give me a clean hair shave. So when you want to design a career path for someone, let the person know. Let the person agree that I'm in admin. I love being in an admin officer or admin employee or whatever. Because some people will be in admin. They came in because there was no other thing to get, and they were happy to have been employed or engaged in your organization as an admin officer. But their mind is somewhere else, account department. So behind, they've been studying ACCA, ICANN, whatever. Then you, as HR, you are planning a career path for them to be in admin. So when we are chatting career path, let the person know. So what do you expect from that employee within the first year? This is where performance management comes in. Then employees, most times we always look at what is in it for me. What is a fine girl like me doing in a place like this? What is in it for me? What does this organization? What is this organization? What is this organization offering me? That is why we have that WIIFM. What is in it for me? But nowadays, management has gone a step further, and management has now said, what is in it for management? That's M. It's not only for me, but also management. So that career progress and what is expected of our employees will be tabled to them and discussed with them so that they will be happy working together with us. I will be able to now look at the skills gap that individual or those employees need. Now, let me quickly take this one. Question time. I want us to type answer into the chat box for me. And if you have the answer, write it on a piece of paper and give the IT, and they will send it to me. What do you understand by team or team working? I don't want to say building teams now. Team or teaming or team working. Your time starts now. Type into the chat box. What do you understand by team and team working? Your time starts now. In the next 2 minutes, I want to get those who will get the answer. If you can, yes, somebody has done that. Who is that? A group of Lahore. Thank you. Group of persons working together to achieve an aim. Correct? To work together. Fine. A group of 2 or more. Lovely. Together, everyone achieves much. Fantastic. That's the acronym. Working with a group of people to achieve a goal. Oh, lovely. Fantastic. Good. That is good. So you see, we now have an idea that when you are in a team, you are either a team leader or a team member. So we need to be there ensuring that we'll achieve the goal. So in the workplace, we have different teams. We have different teams that ensure that they have the same mindset. As someone said, we are working towards a particular goal and the same goal to ensure that the organization is moving forward. Fine. So let's quickly, thank you for those who have responded. So why do we need to form teams in the workplace? Why? You can say that, you can type into the chat box. Why do we need to form teams in the workplace? Okay. Why? Okay. Why? The why. For synergy, thank you. Efficiency, division of labor, fantastic, to bring the best out of others, because we will see that some people will have a better knowledge of what we have, and that is where bottom-up approach comes in. Because in a team, somebody may have more ideas, like somebody rightly put here, more ideas than I do, and achieving goals is easier. Fantastic. So let's move on. A team can also be defined as a number of people who share a common identity and work together and common objectives and goals. Fantastic. All of this we have mentioned, okay? Common identity, we are here together. Fantastic. Ruang says no man is an island, okay? It almost said to share ideology and create the needed synergy. Fantastic. So it helps us in a lot of ways than we can mention here. So all of us have the identity that we belong to this place and we want to work together for the good, common good of all. So very, very good. So that is it. So in teaming or team working, it's not all the time that you say, you shall do this, you shall not do that. We want to bring the best out of everyone. So that is one of the things we have given beautiful examples of what team working is all about. So team is the entire personnel involved in achievement of set goal. Fantastic. That's a Labia because of division of labor, area of expertise. Fantastic. Lovely. So what are the types of teams that we have? Let's quickly look at two major types. We have what we call the functional teams. All of you are in the same type of activity, okay, specific to organization. Let's say admin team, safety team, accounting team, engineering team, all those ones. These are functional. Everybody has a function and you perform that function within that team. It's not that. Then we have what we call the cross-functional team. You realize that engineering team cannot work without supply chain team or admin team. So in the process of our getting our jobs done and goals and whatever, our part, these are the two types of teams, major teams that we have in the workplace. Those who are in their own profession doing the same thing, and those that our path cross because we want to achieve goals and common goals for the organization, the two major ones. So we need to be able to realize that teaming is very important in the workplace. So what is it? What does it mean to be team able? Team able, that means you are well disposed at working with others. So work well with others, ensure that there is a level playing ground where nobody will feel cheated. You contribute knowledge and expertise, as someone rightly put before, equitable amount. I sort of quarrel with this equitable amount, because when you talk of equity, so equitable amount, some people would think that, okay, it has to be 50-50. No. Equitable amount means if you are happy with the quantum of what you are getting, or what we are supposed to bring in, or what I'm supposed to give out, fine. That is why I always refer to this Teddy Pendergrass song, and some of us sang that song about 2 months ago or 3 now, in February, precisely 14th February. It's so good loving somebody and somebody loves you back. So when you go down that song, you say 50-50, if it is 60-40, if I'm happy with 40, so be it, go with 60, I'm happy. Is it 70-30? Equitable amount that we all believe that this is what you are supposed to bring to the value that you are supposed to bring to the table, and I'm happy you have done yours. So that is one of the things. But it's not good to bring 0 100. That is what we talk about, equitable amount, bringing something, value to the system. And that is what we should encourage as HR. That is part of the performance and potential that we're talking about, our talent. So be patient with the process so that you be compassionate and coach team members who you feel are not performing up to standard. Nobody is useless. So as HR, ensure team effectiveness. How do you do that? Because at times the onus rests on HR to get the composition of of team members. So when you do that, please ensure that you put the right people there. Put the right people that will deliver results. That will deliver results is very essential. Free interaction. There you will have, even if the Lord falls on you to be the leader, and at a point in time you realize that somebody, a member of your team, could do better. Oh, you start and say, oh, come on board, do this, and let's see how well you can do it. It's not that you don't know how to do it or you know how to do it, but you just get that person to ensure that the job is well done. Participation is very important. Let us know the task. What are we supposed to do? And please learn to communicate well, whether speaking, writing, or whatever. Because some of us as HR, we are on that ivory tower. And when we talk to some of these people, HR will deal with you. No. When I was in service, some of our colleagues or associate, let me call them, not subordinate, modern manager, say we should call them associate. They will say, if they sack me, they will not join my salary to your own. Let the person be. So they will now be, you can't sack me. If you sack, what will be your gain? And they will not do what they are expected to do. Such people are what we call in modern management presenteeism. They are present physically, but are they doing what they're supposed to do? So this calls for what? Our leadership styles, our commitment, and how do we empower those who are there? How do we reward them? How many training programs do we get them to attend when we know they are lacking in one thing or the other? So HR, ensure we put this together. So let's quickly have this break. The most satisfying 2-letter word is what? That is under teaming. Use we. And we is what? Use it. So that it will not be I and me alone. Okay? Someone say, Femi Badekale says, I believe every one of us will have the recording of oh, sure you will. Sure we will. So the most satisfying 2-letter word is what? We. So what do you do to we? Use it often because it inspires, it motivates people to get there. So then let's look at this. The most poisonous 3-letter word is what? Ego. Ego. What do you do? Kill it. Kill it before it kills your team, because it kills the other people that want to add something. You see, yeah, our team lead has that ego. Let him alone, go and do the job now. And when the ceiling comes crashing, it will fall on your head because it's you that they will get first. So let's look at teaming as a wheel, the wheel of a car. Okay, that's what we call the tire. The wheel is a great analogy for the benchmarks of team excellence. Poor performance in one area, and the wheel goes flat. So how do you do that? We have to ensure the wheel is in place, okay, so that we'll be able to get our people to work together and well with us. So now, before we go to the next slide, I want to ask a question. I want the answer in the chat box. What do you understand by job burnout? Your time starts now. Job burnout. Your time starts now. I want just question, answer. What do you understand by job burnout? Type it out or send it to the IT desk. What's wrong? Job burnout. Okay, if you don't have an answer, let's go to a slide. Oh, thank you. Someone has come on board. Job burnout. When a person is exhausted, correct. Job burnout is when employees are no more effective or efficient. Fantastic. Ruth and Lahore, bless you. Thank you. So we move on and let's see what job burnout is. There are more explanations, but simply put, what is job burnout? Job burnout is a consequence of the perceived disparity between demands of the job and the resources. Okay, I have so much to do, but the organization will not give me enough to be able to. So what does the employee do? He comes there. Oga sell, Oga does not sell. Conductor's money must to complete. He comes there, he marks time, he does what he wants to do, and the little he can do within the available resources. But I know that modern management, modern organizations, they will say, we give this much and we expect this much of a result. We need to be able to be there. We know it can never be equal, because you can't give someone a target that you know you will finish within the next 1 week of a month. What will he be doing with the remaining weeks of the month? And that doesn't mean we should also overload them with activities that they will not be able to perform or finish, and will now look for faults in them. So that the person will not go through what that man on the left of the screen is going through. It just was, it's hard enough. And that was what brought about work-life balance of old. Now, after COVID, after the COVID pandemic, because COVID is still with us, after the COVID pandemic, we're talking about health, mental health. When an employee burns his candle on both ends, he can't just cope, because before you know it, he's out. Job burnout. He develops stress, he's depressed. Depression is also part of mental health, and that is part of what HR should be looking into in the workplace. So many people are suicidal. So many people are suicidal out there, and it does not because of the money, not because of the pay, but so many underlying factors there. So let's quickly see, what do you mean by employee engagement and employee empowerment? I want answers in our chat box. The workplace is overloaded when we're talking of fatigue, under stress. So what is employee engagement? If you know one, type your answer. If you know the two, type the two and let us know. A state of emotional, that's employee burnout, exhaustion. Your time starts now on engagement and empowerment. All these answers are right. Aladisunkun, Tajudeen, thank you. Kuntayo, thank you. Engagement, discuss and understand. Good, all answers are correct. Asian, Wilson, discuss and understand. Okay, we are waiting. We're still waiting. He has given us carry employee along. What do you mean? Which one is that now? Empowerment or engagement? Salam. Which one are you defining for us? Empowerment, motivate, encourage, and reward. Thank you. Engagement, fully involved. That's Gloria. Okay, Florence Amarachi says engagement when you are fully involved in an organization. Thank you. All answers are correct. All of you are correct, but one is the right answer. Others are answers. So when you're giving us an answer, may not be the answer, but you're all correct. So let's see, what is employee engagement or empowerment? Let's take empowerment first. I told you earlier that once upon a time was MBO, and MBO was management by objective, and it was there that we had delegation. Delegation has been broken into empowerment and engagement now. So think about management by objective and delegation, then you get there. So employee empowerment, to invest people with authority. You are empowered. Remember, those who are in politics, they will say we are empowering our people. They buy them keke napep and Okada. Okay, but in management, you are investing people with authority. You're sharing some very degrees of power and authority at a lower level. Remember, authority comes from the top, but at a particular level, you say, okay, this person can do it. But we should be really at this point of empowerment that we will not fall into the problem of what we call Peter principle. The boy is good. The boy is good. But the boy is good at a particular level. If you give him, if you empower him beyond his capability, That means you are promoting him to a level of incompetency. He will not be able to perform. So when you empower people with power and authority at a lower level, remember, you should know how well they can do the job. So people are still giving us empowerment on this. So remember, invest people with authority, give them power at a lower level where they can perform, so that you will not fall into what we call Peter principle, promoting somebody beyond his capability. That means you want to sacrifice that person, because it will show that he can't perform at that level. It's the primary goal of employees empowerment, to give workers a greater voice in decision making and matters that affect them. So what is employee engagement? Engagement is you are emotionally connected to the organization. You see yourself as part of the success story. You see yourself that I'm engaged to this organization. I believe that this organization will do well when I put in my best. So emotionally connected and fully involved with whatever you are doing for the success of the organization. On this slide, we try to put engagement and empowerment on the same page, so that we can see what empowerment and engagement is like. So as we have said, we engage emotionally. Empowerment, power and authority at a lower level for us to do better for the organization. So now, I want to ask a question. Is employee engagement or empowerment good or bad? Your answer, give me a thumbs up if you believe it is good. Then give me a thumbs down if you believe it is bad. Your time starts now. Is it good or bad? Thumbs up. Or if it is good, but you have your reservation, quickly type your reservation. Law, do you mean Achi, Iyoho? All of you believe it is good. But do you have any reservation that, yes, it's good, but Ahibi, Daniel, you believe, everybody believes that it's good. But I gave you the bad aspect, that don't promote the person beyond. It can be abused. Thank you. Liboro says, depending on the application, yes. Nobody says, Daniel says, Onuka says it's good, but what is your but, Daniel? So because we need to learn that in as much as letting people, especially when it comes to empowerment, no, as I gave you, that don't promote the person beyond his capability, and don't fall into the trap of Peter principle, promoting the person beyond his capability. And that is what we are talking about. So now I want us to see this. I want us to see this, and I want to see who is disturbing us. And that's live streaming. Live streaming. You are disturbing us with some noise there. So what I want us to see this. I'm sure Ruang will be conversant with these rocks. These rocks are rocks in Plateau State. When you are coming in from Abuja through Iriom, you will see this rock on the left-hand side. It will be as if you want to go there and push the rock. It will not fall. So there are some houses around there, and they have been there for ages. Okay? So what you're saying is that as HR, do you put people on edge? Or like the one on the right-hand side, you see this on Sherrill Hills, you put them at peace. That if you move them from now to tomorrow, unless you put a dynamite, they will be at peace, at rest. Do you remember to make people to remember to breathe? You should remember first that as HR, let me make people to breathe in whatever capacity. Okay. Someone, Alade Sunkon says that empowerment and engagement is good, irrespective of the ugly side. So we need to watch out for the ugly side and know that we shouldn't let them disturb how we make people to breathe. Because some of them, it depends on how you manage the people, the community of people in the workplace, that will make them to know that they will work well. So as HR, we have already said we are going to attract talents. We will develop them through the employee life cycle. But the crux of the matter is, well, how do we manage or retain them at the point of inspire? How do we retain them? You recognize them, you encourage them, and you reward them for whatever they've done in whatever way. When we have any opportunity to celebrate our talent, let us do that. It's all about what? Readiness of HR and readiness of the people, the right people for the right jobs and at the right time in order to do what? To achieve results. Remember our first slide. The next slide says the HR resource portfolio. We have 4 boxes there, 4. We have the ones we call the deadwood, the problem children, the workhorses and staff. And on the x-axis and the y-axis, you see one is job performance, the other one is potential. You can move somebody from low job performance to high job performance. You can also, by having the right community of people that will get people to get our employees to where we want them to be, move them from low potential to high potential. And when you work on this too, job performance and potential, you'll be able to get to the bottom line of what is making people not to contribute to the organization the way they should. Let me quickly wrap up this slide with a story. It's the story of Boda Yellow and Uncle JJC. Boda Yellow has been on the job for the past number of years, we can't say. But Boda Yellow did not go to school. As far as it's concerned, he has hung his pencil and paper and biro for his children to go to school, but he's good on the job. Boda Yellow does not want to go to school. But when the opportunity came for somebody to be a manager, they can't consider Boda Yellow because he doesn't have the educational qualification. So they brought in Brother JJC. Brother JJC is just fresh graduate. He doesn't have all the technical know-hows on the shop floor. So Brother Yellow felt that he has been sidelined. So he was throwing spanner in the wheel of progress for Brother JJC. So what do? But that Yellow does not want to go to school so that it is potential to have certificate, but that JJC does not have the experience. So, and in this situation, we have deadwood problem children and all. What do? I know in the private sector, we hardly have deadwood because they will stand out there like the saw tomb. But you can have problem children like Brother Yellow. He's a problem child, but he's a star in his own way. What do to remove that problem from him? These are some of the scenarios that HR we face in the workplace. How do you move somebody from being a deadwood to problem children? And eventually they will be workhorses. They may not be stars, but they are workhorses. But some maybe from problem children, they become stars. Okay. But in spite of the fact that they don't have the potential to go to school, but you have what it takes to be a job performer in whatever they do. So in all of this, as HR, we should develop a new mindset so that we'll be able to do what? Watch our people grow or see them go if we don't do what is right. Then what should we do as well? What do we need to do? We need to train them in order to close the performance or skills gap wherever we notice a deficiency. 3, we need to retain them, especially the stars, not necessarily stars. When some people are not stars, but they are workhorses. Retain them for business success. Always remember our people, our employees are the ones that will do what? That will produce results. So in essence, as HR, we need to look at the needs of our workforce in order to get there, so they'll be able to improve their performance and close that skills training between the employee and the performance. So skills can be seen in 2 ways. Because if you want to talk about it, some people say functional skills and all those things, but functional skills can fall into soft or hard skill. Soft skills have to do with the soft side of human being, management of people, while the hard skills are the technical ones in engineering and whatever. But we are talking about the soft skills now. So soft skills are management of people. So what do we want to do? If you have identified the needs of your workforce, put them in either soft or hard skill so that I'll be able to deploy the right training for them. So let's quickly look at this, the power of skills. So when I read it, just in tone, the answer, the is equals to, this is the mathematics of skills, the power of skills. Imagine skills without the S, it kills. Imagine it further without SK, it heals. An organization's performance is either killed or falls ill without skills. You may have capital to jumpstart a business, all the raw materials needed, the dream and the vision, a bankable proposal. Without skills and competences, all these variables will not be actualized. And it's only human beings that have skills. Unless you want to talk about the AI, but it's only human beings that have the skills. So let's quickly take a look at the bottom-up approach. Down there, we said there's so many talented people. They have what it takes to be able to, they have the skills down there. We also have our skills at our own level. But what do you want to do? Management pyramid is top to bottom. But you now want to look at the base of the pyramid. So many ideas, so many skills, so many bright ideas, brilliant people are down there. This is a one-off thing. When you make somebody to have that leadership because of what the skills the person possesses for that singular activity, you are not necessarily that the person is in the C-suite. You are presenting a bottom-up approach to leadership. So bottom-up approach leadership is a one-off act of influence, and it will bring a good impact on the organization. It's not that you are giving the GM this thing to someone that is down there. No, you tapping into the skills and knowledge of the individual to bring us at par or bring us to speed as how others are doing the business. So what were we talking about? Let me give us a story, real life. When UAC was introduced confectionery or what the donuts and all into their business, the management, we were told then, revolted and said, how can UAC be selling donuts, puff, and all this thing? Then to break the camel's back, they agreed and they started selling at their outlets. In Mr. Biggs, they formed Mr. Biggs and they were selling a division of UAC. Then one woman, I met the woman live and direct. but I can't remember her name now. We went for one training in UAC then when I was in service. This woman brought village kitchen to Mr. Biggs. She told our guy then and said, I have these brilliant ideas. People are tired of eating donuts, gala, Why don't we introduce the mother tongue food into, they said the boardroom was in uproar. She said the boardroom was in uproar when our guy presented. So when they had their next meeting, they invited her. This man said, this is a brilliant idea. For us to remain in business, we need to diversify, or else we go out of extinction or whatever. So eventually they bought into Village Kitchen. It became a seller for Mr. Biggs then, before Mr. Biggs has gone under now. Not really fully, but some places they still have their franchise, but there are so many other fast food that are in the place. But what I want to tell you is that brilliant ideas are down there. Let us give them the opportunity to showcase what they know and what they want us to see. Because once upon a time, some of us didn't even know how to use the computer. Some of us felt that electronic typewriter was there and it was good enough. Brilliant ideas, designs are coming in. So many things are coming in. Even for those of us that are still skeptical about the AI, maybe we will still be here when AI will operate itself. But for us, those who are still skeptical, we say it has to take the voice of someone to activate the AI or the touch of someone. But for whatever it is, let's give those people with brilliant ideas and design to continue. And that is how we create a community of people that will make the organization to grow. So before we end, let's quickly look at this. Remember what? One, that as HR, post-COVID, as I've been saying, has taught us so many things. Post-COVID pandemic, I said COVID is still with us. COVID is still with us, but the post-COVID pandemic, what do we need to do to succeed? Okay, first, you need to be emotionally intelligent and manage your emotions. Agile mindset. Look forward for that good things that others are doing that will also make us to succeed, especially those who are in the same business. But if they are not in the same business, what can we learn from them? We need to be customer centric. Remember, the veterans are leaving. The baby boomers are also leaving. Our customers are the millennial, the alpha generation. They are the ones that we are servicing, whether goods, products, whatever. We should start looking in that direction. And some of them are already with us in the workplace. And that is where digitally enabled organization is our best bet. Top management, we should encourage top management to have a buy-in. Link all our efforts to the needs and objective of the business. Lead through change. Let them know, even if you are in a one-man business, let them know that this thing, the way we are doing it, will not continue forever. It's always said that it's only a madman that will be doing things over and over and expect a different result. So when we lead through change, we'll embrace diversity. When we lead through diversity and we do what we lead by inclusion, including people in the scheme of things, lead virtually, that is digital, then be honest that things may not go the way we want, but we need to inspire people to get there. Are you creating a workplace like this? HR, let's look at it. I know some of us have issues with our top management, especially for those who are working in private one-man business. So what do we do to our workforce? Someone is asking a question. I'm still here. Infinite. He said, yes. Yes, you are creating a workforce, a workplace that will make people to be happy to come to work on Monday. Not, thank God it's Friday, I'm out. But if you are creating a workplace like this, when on Monday morning, person say, what can I do? Will I call in sick? CD, I'm sad. No, not that. Thank God it's Friday. Friday, I will not, from Saturday, Sunday, I will not see your face. Thank God, TGIF. And on Monday morning, the person doesn't want the alarm to go on. So it's very important that we create a community of people that will help us to achieve and get results, okay, deliver results. So when we say manage your emotional intelligence, doesn't mean that you should not be angry. And be angry for whatever you want to be angry for. Okay, but what does emotional intelligence tell us? Anywhere where you have the opportunity to learn anything about emotional intelligence, please go ahead and do that. It will help us to manage people very well, and it also helps us to manage ourselves and our family, whether public or private, wherever we find ourselves, because emotional intelligence is very important. And I'm talking from experience. When I came across emotional intelligence in was it early 20s in this millennium, and I embraced it, and it has helped me. It has helped me in the sense that I will not let you get me angry. It's not that I'll not get angry. I will get angry for the right purpose. And what is that? And the emotion of anger will not be at the end of it. I say, why did I do it? Some people will like that they saw the person, those who kill, or not necessarily kill, they see the animal in the other person. So they feel that that person should be destroyed. So anger is one letter word short of danger. So we should be able to manage our emotions and shout if you want to, but don't let that shout kill you. Don't let that shout make you commit something that you now say, the scales are falling off. Why did I do it? And that is not what we want in the workplace. So in order to succeed, HR, we must engage our employees in the organization. Let's use the management of people to get what you want. So management of people has now become an acronym for what? Professionalism. And that is why we are here. Empathy, optimism. Always look at the sunny side of life. Okay? Then Partnering, and that is where we talked about empowerment and engagement. Loyalty, manage those talents so that they will be loyal to the organization. They will not jet out because most of them believe the only way up is out. So engagement and empowerment has now become the acronym for people. Then we also use the fish model. The fish model is what? Feel for others, involve others, speak to them, and see from their point of view, hear them out, manage your communication very well. Because the rich also cry. The blood that flows in you flows in them. We are all there to ensure the organization works well. So I want to ask a question. Are you now connected, wired to connect with our employees or workforce? Yes or no? If it's yes, give me a thumbs up in the chat room. See the picture that we are looking at there. In those days when internet was by wire, you see, we will just plug on and you are connected. You say plug your LAN whatever and you are connected. Yes, you are ready. You are wired to connect. With what we have learned today, and for those who were with us yesterday night, you see that there's no way we can work alone in the workplace without getting our people to be there and we wiring to connect with them. Because be kind, be kind. For everyone you meet, he's carrying a heavy load. So says Plato. Plato was a philosopher. Everybody has a load to carry, no matter how small or big. So what do we need to do? Knowing is not enough. We must apply. And what does that call for? We have to be willing. Remember, the illiterate of this century are not those who don't know how to read or write, but they are those who are not willing to change their position for the better. So what should we do? Whatever we do, knowledge is not enough. We have to put action to whatever we have learned. Attach action to it, then you are there. Where should we start now? What will be easy? Our ability to be willing to add action to our knowledge. What should we stumble over? Our ability not to start. So start what you feel. Do a SWOT analysis of self. Start where you feel there is a deficiency in you. Stop those things that make you to be overbearing. Continue those things that will bring value to you, to the organization, as well as to others. So eventually, you will not use this one letter word. What is that? I, because only you cannot make it happen. So what do? Avoid using I. My organization, I myself alone, everything. Avoid I, because the organization is not made up of you alone. So that you'll be able to put the glass down. You'll be able to close your eyes and know that people are there to deliver results. And eventually, nothing will be lost. Instead, we gain more for our organization. Thank you for listening. Now, let's quickly discuss, as nobody has asked me any question, let's take one or two before I will sign out. Thank you for listening, and we go to, I'll stop sharing my slide now so that we can take questions from everybody or anybody that has something to share with us. You don't have to ask me questions. If you want to share an experience with us, we are willing to take your experience as part of what we want. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We have 5 minutes because I want to wind down at 1 o'clock. Thank you. Thank you. Question time, blessing time, experience sharing. Really for those who are on site, please write. I've seen enough from those who are online. We've typed, we've shared knowledge and everything. But those who are on site, please send your questions to the IT. If not, you may have the mic and talk so that we can see your lovely face in all of this. Thank you very much. Question time. Question time. If you want to type into the chat box, I can see it's hot in there. Let me send you some cool air. Archie, thank you very much. Archie, thank you. Let me send you some cool air. I wonder why these leadership traits, HR, I wonder why these leadership traits, HR, don't work with spouses. No, I don't understand this. Chief
from here, there.
Chief
That's why you say we have to make sure that we don't lose time. So, like I said earlier, which I think is better. If you have any question, please send it back. We'll type it in. For some of you that are connected, you can just type it in there. You'll see it. You just respond. So we should just go that route rather than using mic because you have it to give us feedbacks. You have it to think feeding here and there. All right. Once again, madam, please. Applause for her.
Mavo. Hey, Chief.
Permit me to.
Chief.
Get across to her, please.
Please let me address.
Ma, please kindly hold on, ma. Ma, kindly hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you know, one important thing. One important thing I said earlier, I never knew she was going to mention it. She mentioned part of it. Is that of us and those we are working with. And that brings me to what I said I would just add briefly before I introduce somebody to us. All that you said, to me, it's not about the certificate. It's about the certificate. I've gone to a level where I can create my own English. It's not about the certificate. It's about the certificate. It's what you know how to do that put food on your table, not what you have to pay for. What you have to pay for, we open the door, but enter now and begin to do the job. Then they'll be wondering whether your what do you call your certificate was proposed, whether it was hijacked like ballot box, or was, you know. Why am I saying this is that word certificate may look local, but it sells a lot of ideas. That's from Europe, problem. Why? Because we need to understand that it's about what we know. It's what you know that you can pass down to the staffs that according to what you said. You can see why now, what I said earlier, sit count, that the people working with us are important. One tree, they say, cannot make a forest. Remember, I also mentioned about the capital you invest into the business. Without the people, it's going to just go down the drain. So it's our duty as leaders, as managers, HR, whatever our offices are, to ensure that we carry everybody along to understand the vision and mission of the business. I'm sure everybody here wants to live long. And one of the ways to live long is to reduce your stress. Spread it. Every company has its own stress. Spread it to different levels. That's why they must be trained. That's why you don't kill their skills. That is why you don't just see them as nobody. No. As long as you employ the person, there was something at that point in time when you were employing that you saw, or that your HR saw, or you yourself saw that will employ this one. The only one I don't support, me, personal opinion, I don't support employing family member for sentiment sake in sensitive office. The company is already nosediving by virtue of what you have used your hand to do. On this note, permit me to introduce to you he happened to call me while I was on the register of chartered of human resource management. I appeal to you to please be upstanding and give honor to whom honor is due. And celebrate my registrar, the man that has more than enough information that can help you as an individual, that has helped our institute as an organization to be where we are today and still ready to add more, which is why we are still on. Please help me, ladies and gentlemen, celebrate our dear registrar, Dr. Benga Olokun. Celebrate him for me, please. He's been sitting beside some of you, but you don't know that you are still with the registrar. Celebrate him, please. That is the registrar. I know someone. So the man was not sitting beside me. I didn't know. I was giving him Shiko. Then if you go, I will seize your certificate. There you go with certificate only. Please, you may have your seat. Thank you. Thank you. I won't take time because I want us to digest all those things on our own. Now, I know the next question. Are we going to have the slides? Capital yes. We're going to have the slides. We're going to have them. You have yourself, if you have not opened Telegram, right? Please download one and send a message to the National Project Coordinator. Afterwards, you'll be added as a platform already. You'll be added, and we can move on from there. Most importantly to me, about the institute, before you are inducted, so that it's not because you're not inducted, there are avenues where you can take advantage of the good benefits of the membership of this family. And one of it is the institute can be of help to your organization. You have some serious issues that need